Why male self-improvement is a scam that solves nothing. The brutal reality of male existence. In this video, I will expose the dark side and the undeniable long-term futility of a phenomenon known as male self-improvement. By the end, you will realize that most of it is just a pyramid scheme, extracting money from desperate men. This video will be very difficult to understand for dreamers. What is self-improvement? Self-improvement is the act of leveling up, in quotes. Your character wants to go up, develop skills that make him better. It's best if you ask yourself, what is this world focused on? The material. Consequently, in 99.9% of cases, self-improvement promises 1. To make you earn more money. 2. To make you more attractive. 3. To make you more intelligent. 4. To make you stronger physically and emotionally. The first 2 points are fundamental. The world can pretend otherwise, but it's all hypocrisy. In this era, appearance and money are the measures of success and consequently of self-improvement. Admitting the obvious before exposing the main disadvantage of male self-improvement. First, it's necessary to admit the obvious fact that self-improvement can improve your life. If you live in your parents' basement, weight 350 pounds, and spends most of his time playing video games, and you transform into a man with a good physique, a decent career, a house, and a nice car, your quality of life will skyrocket, and so will your opportunities with women. However, the closer you get to that average, the less noticeable the self-improvement will be. The pyramid scheme of male self-improvement. The hierarchy of today's society is as follows. 1. High-level men. Men born into extremely wealthy families and/or with enormous talent and achievements in highly valued fields like sports, music, etc. 2. Women. 3. Domestic pets, usually dogs and cats. 4. Average men. 5. Below average men. This structure is determined by the influence of the group in our society. The higher you are on the scale, the less you have to work. Additionally, the higher segments enjoy more protection and respect. For example, a sports superstar works much less than an underwater welder, but earns 10 times more without risking their life daily. The most dangerous jobs on this planet, which often result in death or near-death experiences, are always reserved for average or below average men. In a war, high-level men emigrate to a neutral country, e.g. Switzerland, along with most women and children. The remaining men must stay and fight to the death. The low-leverage position of the average man is the main source of male depression and sadness. Existing in a world that is always willing to sacrifice you while giving the least recognition is heart-wrenching. When you add the fact that average men are also the most criticized group, you get a complete recipe for the destruction of male self-esteem, self-love, and the will to live. Of course, society will deny it. People will never openly tell you what they feel about you, but their attitude and actions will reveal everything you need to know. High-level men see you as a slave. High-level women don't even see you because you are a ghost to them. Average women see you as a loser who is not worthy of their precious attention, even though they have nothing against you besides being the opposite gender. The government reinforces the deal with strange anti-male laws and continuous exploitation. What is the solution to all this? Enter the world of self-improvement. The main targets of self-improvement are average men and those below. High-level men and women don't have to improve themselves, or at least not in the same way, because they are already good enough. Hence, virtually all self-improvement methods promise, or at least imply, that they will transform you from an average man into a high-level unit. Male self-improvement has 2 main objectives. 1. Build the body of a Greek deity. Become more attractive. 2. Maximize your bank account and status. That's why all self-improvement regimes contain weightlifting and money-making schemes, e.g., delivery services, selling items online, cryptocurrencies, etc. Self-improvement rarely or never focuses on the spiritual side of life. All focus is on material gains, because these make a difference in a material capitalist world. As most men are incredibly tired of living life too hard, we quickly get hooked and start breaking our backs doing squats, deadlifts, all while trying to build passive income businesses in quotes. You're supposed to lift a lot of weight all the time, sleep less, read 50 books a week, work constantly, never complain, maintain a positive mindset, be a warrior, etc. The trap. As mentioned, self-improvement works. If you lift heavy, you will get stronger and a bit bigger. To be really big, you have to inject. If you work hard, you will probably increase your income. There are no guarantees, but it's 100% possible. So what's the trap? The level of improvement is limited, and in most cases, you cannot become a high-level man by following a politically correct book. You won't become Jeff Bezos reading his biography or watching his interview. Why? There are many reasons, but the most undeniable is the fact that the available positions for winners are very limited. This is a very important concept to understand, but is usually ignored completely, because it is not politically correct. Imagine life is a chess game, and your goal is to become a high-level man, get a good body, and earn a lot of money. As the game progresses, the amount of valuable elements a player has is considerably reduced. A really good player will checkmate an average rival in his head long before the loser is aware of his defeat. A good player is capable of calculating all possible moves and creating an unbreakable winning path. However, sometimes a player will see his own defeat when faced with a powerful rival. The thing is, each and every one of us has a predetermined number of moves ahead. As you age, those opportunities change. They usually decrease, but sometimes they can increase. Someone could be a loser in their teens, but recover in their 20s, etc. The moves a man can make are predetermined by internal and external factors. Internal would be your genes, race, physical traits, intelligence, etc. External would be your environment, country, place of birth, years of birth, etc. The cold, harsh reality is that the combination of available moves for most men rarely or never leads to the luck of a high-level man, regardless of one's efforts. But even if you don't agree with the above, it's impossible to argue with the following fact. The number of available positions for high-level men is very limited by default. Once the market is saturated, it starts to automatically reject applications until a vacancy opens up. As it happens, all the positions that lead to great wealth are high-leverage positions. Sports superstars, highly skilled musicians, stock traders with insider information, brainy and lucky entrepreneurs, etc. You will never make a lot of money from a low-leverage position, e.g., assembling tables in a factory. High-leverage positions are difficult to reach, not only because they are limited, a company cannot have 1,000 CEOs, but also due to unfair competition. Men who have already secured or inherited those positions will protect them with everything they have, and only help people of their choice to reach the same level. This happens in both capitalist and socialist societies. In capitalist society, those who own the capital decide the changes and do everything possible to keep the capital for themselves. In a socialist society, control is through the party that controls the state's laws and funds. Only people willing to serve the party can reach the top. Effort has a limited effect. Strict self-improvement promoters benefit greatly by saying that effort is the only difference between those who succeed and those who don't. That's a lie. Effort is always necessary, but it's not always the decisive factor. One can transform from an average loser through effort, but often it's impossible to go from average to the highest level only through effort if the foundation isn't there. Or in other words, you can become of average intelligence if you study harder, but you will never be Tesla unless you have the genes for it. The reason promoters tell you, not hint, silently that effort is key, is to hide the futility of their own systems. If you're not successful, it's because you didn't work hard enough, not because the plan is a generic nonsense. And guess what? The work is never enough. You can always do more. Even if you wake up at 4 a.m., go on morning runs, take cold showers, pop a brain pill, work for 14 hours, then hit the gym to kill yourself in quotes, you can always do more. By emphasizing effort, promoters protect themselves and the deficiencies of their plans. The value of advice is determined by its level of specificity. The more vague and generic something is, the less valuable it is. The more specific, the harder it is to find, but more valuable. Logically, male self-improvement advice is always vague, non-specific, and never guarantees results. Examples: to make money, it's often said to open a YouTube channel, blog, eBay store, etc. That's the online equivalent of telling someone to just open a successful restaurant. Bro, it's obvious that this speech is completely useless and ridiculous. On the other hand, specific money-making methods are never shared with the public. Imagine that you discover a method to get $1 million by investing $10,000 in a way you never lose money. Would you share it, or keep it to yourself and protect it at all costs? One may wonder, what about courses that are paid? Well, 99.9% of them are scams. As mentioned, all high-leverage positions are very limited. So, when a successful person offers their course to the public, it's simply because their position is not threatened. By revealing some generic, non-risky advice for an inflated price, he maintains his position and adds another revenue stream. That's why you will never see a professional stock trader offering a course to the public. They will only share it with those they trust or manipulate others to keep it to themselves. When a self-improvement promoter gives you generic advice, they expect you to fail, so you come back to them for more. It's a scam because the chances of success are minimal, regardless of your effort. They will never tell you exactly what they do. They will offer vague guidance, making you believe that there's some secret source when in reality, they have already secured a high leverage position or protect their source of income. Conclusion. In conclusion, male self-improvement is often just a scam that promises transformations through generic and vague advice while the promoters protect their positions. The reality is harsh. Effort has limits, and many paths to high-level positions are predetermined and fiercely guarded. The number of available high-level positions is very limited, making it nearly impossible for average men to reach them through standard self-improvement methods. Recognizing this can help avoid the traps and false promises often marketed to men seeking to improve their lives.